It's a championship headed by Josh Rowledge, who strengthened his lead with victory in round 12 just this morning. Now it's round 13 of Ginetta Juniors. They're all on the grid, and Paul O'Neill and Johnny Palmer are still in position.
Very good result for Josh Rowledge, as you've mentioned, and that's bolstered his championship. He was thinking about points yesterday, which in a second year of the season, Ginetta Juniors, these are young kids. A reminder, if you've never seen this category of racing before, it is for 14 to 17-year-old drivers, both girls and boys, but it gets them into motorsport very, very early on, teaches them about car placement and also how to go fast around a tight and twisty circuit.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to see some action. If you've never watched this before, no, we're on the main channel for ITV now. Lando Norris, not long ago, winning in this championship, and look what he's gone on to do. So there's some really lively boys and girls in this, and it's excellent to see, and lively people in the crowd as well. Again, I cannot believe how many people are here at Knockhill. It's just great to see.
So here's the grid then. Josh Rowledge will start from pole position alongside Joe Warhurst, and then it's Liam McNeely in the Fox Motorsport prepared car alongside PrepTech's Zach Meakin. Will McIntyre, who is neatly placed in the championship, second behind Rowledge, will start from fifth alongside Akil Alibai. And then it's Ian Aguilera for R Racing and Luke Watts in the sister car from that team. Alicia Palmowski and Mackenzie Douglas come next. Fergus Chalmers also for PrepTech, joined by Luca Hopkinson on row 6. Konato Lee, a real talent from Japan, just 14 years old, alongside the driver that's been doing very well from Wales, Harry Reynolds. Jacob Hodgkiss comes next alongside Ella Lloyd, and it's Adam Brown and Shravan Shamagavil in the Elite Motorsport car. Leona Theobald comes next, Flynn McCarty in 27th ahead of Sonny Smith, and then first-time winner yesterday, Maurice Henry. And he was so happy with that, but he's going to have to do it the hard way from the very back of the field, but we know he's got a quick car.
Yep, it's going to be one to watch this. It's the highlight of the weekend for me. Love every single driving package we have on here, but I've got to say, Ginetta Juniors, the talent that comes with it is phenomenal. But look again, this people starting on hills. Kids have got to learn how to keep the foot on the brake and throttle to get this thing going, and also
work out where to look for the lights. There are repeater red lights partway down the grid, but you're that far back, for instance, where those two cars are at the rear of the field, you look very high above the bridge. And we're underway then for the latest round. This is the 13th race of the season for the Michelin Ginetta Junior Championship. They're all heading down towards Duffers Dip for the first time. It does look to be a good getaway for the pole sitter. Zach Meakin in the green car slotting into 4th place, but Josh Rowledge, who won earlier on today, starting from pole and already beginning to build a gap.
Yeah, they're not messing around. Look at this. There's 3 abreast. There's cars in the gravel. There's cars coming out the gravel, but they're all through. The chicane is the first big test. No, there's an accident down at Butcher's, and that is a car with a bonnet off, and also and the bonnet flying there across the chicane. That's a safety car, because I don't think they'll be quick enough, the marshals, to get that out the way.
All sorts of gravel being chucked up as well out of Clark, so that's going to be a problem for visibility for those behind. But Josh Rowledge will lead into the final corner on the first lap. No indication that we're going to go safety car quite yet. The blue car in 2nd place then is Joe Warhurst from the Elite Motorsport crew. Then it's Liam McNeely, who started 3rd and retains that position. Zach Meakin next across the line. But what happened in this opening lap exchange? 3 abreast into Butcher's, which was never going to work, and one car going spinning, losing the bonnet, and that was then collected by a second car way out to the left of the chicane.
Yeah, what we got either, we've got double wave yellows, which means slow down, because I won't want to go through that chicane with a bonnet in the middle of it. The marshals have got rid of it. Superb stuff. We go racing.
Brilliant. So we've not been... as Warhurst goes off the road, and Liam McNeely will benefit from that. Here comes Zach Meakin from a long way back to squeeze up the inside of the blue and black Elite car as well. So again, for the second time on one lap, Warhurst is in the kitty litter, and now getting a really good run. Will McIntyre. Here comes Will Mack on the inside of Zach Meakin and gets the place.
Wow, that's amazing. Look at this now, 3 abreast. Look at this from round the outside. That's going to be an effort. Alibi trying to get around the outside, Meakin down the inside of him, and look, now they're going to be two abreast as they come up and over the strike towards Duffers. Hold on tight.
A door mirror went bouncing across the road and into the gravel trap again. That's found a relatively safe location though, as across the line Ian Aguilera will go with the bright yellow door mirrors. He's currently in sixth, 2 wheels through Duffers Dip. Josh Rowledge is not hanging around despite this 1.2 second lead that he has. He wants to build it to 5 and 6 in if he can.
Wow, proper action going on now. Look at it. It's a real pinch point as they come through the chicane just before it in that dip. It's horrendous to get the line right. If you miss the curve, you're in loads of trouble. Look at this train of juniors. They can't even see where the track is. And a big move. Warhurst trying to go down the inside, gets cut off.
Also trying to make a move, Ian Aguilera on Knockhill Alibi in the yellow and black car, but Aguilera, the Mexican, just stays there, keeps the powder dry. But this little clutch of cars in danger of losing touch on the top 4, who are streaking away. Josh Rowledge will lead at the end of lap 3.
There's a few things going on. Warhurst is having a nightmare in that light blue car. He's just dropping like a stone, but it's good to see that he's not losing patience and just driving into people. So good stuff from the youngster. Yeah,
but he, as you say, has lost more places on that lap, 2 of them. So those to benefit were Luke Watts in the 37 car, and also Mackenzie Douglas. While nose to tail for Will McIntyre, who knew he had to gain ground in the early stages, sitting second in the championship, as up and over the curve there and forcing out wide the 24 car was a good overtake. So that is, who's that coming through the field? Kanato Lee, yeah, so I'm not surprised by that, actually, into the top 10 now, after Kanato started in 13th position.
Yeah, proper stuff, like you called, proper talent, but lots of people running wide. Meakin and Willie Mack are having a right old ding-dong here, aren't they? The red car just going through shot. They're really having a good one. There's Joe Warhurst back on the attack, and he'll switch now, Willie, round to the inside to try and get down the inside of Watts. That is a textbook moves, that is.
As long as he's got the momentum that he can carry on all the way up the hill. But the crucial thing now is that Duffers Dip, turn 1, is a right-hander, and he should actually be ahead of Luke Watts by the point that they need to turn in. Good lap that time around for Luke McNeely, who is wanting to try and close the gap. Well, he has by 0.02 of a second on Josh Rowledge. So Rowledge with a 101.4 and more or less exactly the same time from Liam McNeely in second place. Will McIntyre was a couple of tenths off, so he's losing ground, as now it's 2 abreast of the chicane. That's what I said wasn't going to work at the start of the day, and spinning there is Luke Watts as a result.
That's a nightmare. They'll both get out the gravel, but there's a problem now because the chicane has been disrupted by the tyre stack, or what we call Breckenridge barrier.
Yeah.
That is to stop you taking too much curve. Will they put safety car out to put that barrier in the right place? But let's see.
Because normally, dare I say it, that's the green light for everyone to just straight line the chicane from this point on, and the stack is there for a deliberate reason. Side by side again, making progress is Parmovsky in the white car, although now on the wrong side of the road as they head back to the finish line one more time.
Oh, it was a bit of to me, to you, wasn't it? That, and Watts just got on the end of the last bit of contact, which was a shame. It wasn't intended. It was just there wasn't any. Watts just hadn't a chance. He turned in and thought he ain't going to be there. Yeah, that was a shame. That was.
But actually,
Kanato Lee.
Yeah, Kanato Lee battering over the grass there and did well to control that moment. The other side of it, Alicia Parmovsky, who was next on the scene, needed to work out where the cars weren't as well. Just go through the gap. She did very well to thread her way through that. So Parmovsky still under pressure from behind the 94 car of Hodgkiss, but the lead, well, still about the same actually, 1.3 between Rowledge and McNeely, much closer for these two, Will McIntyre, who is top rookie currently, and the green car of Zach Meakin.
Interesting. So Alibi with the fastest lap of the race, that's actually gone now to Liam McNeely in P2. So the 48 in second position has just nicked that fastest lap by quite a bit, and he's a second behind Rowledge, so he's going to be catching.
Yeah, he found about a tenth of a second on that lap, so McNeely might just be hitting a rich vein of form in this middle phase of the race. It's, remember, done to timed distance rather than numbers of laps, so 20 minutes, and we're running a full quota at this stage. While Kanato Lee under a bit of pressure now, so he's done a lot of overtaking, and now nibbling away at his heels is Maurice Henry, yesterday's race 1 winner. Maurice having to do this from the back of the field. We mentioned at the start, though, that he would be getting his way through the order. This is exactly what he's doing, and Maurice Henry went for an overtake on Konato Lee, who covered it off.
Yeah, I tell you what, two fine young chargers. Look at this. Let's talk about fine young chargers. That is a 3 abreast attempt. Where is this going to end? Because I tell you what, I wouldn't be in Hotchkiss's boots, but now you've got Pomorsky trying to go around the outside in the 21. She'll get the cutback. Will she get the move done? No, it's still status quo, but look at this, it's hotting up.
Fergus Chalmers, it is just ahead then of the Hotchkiss car as Will Mack reaches Duffer's Dip for the 8th time. Zach Meakin right on his boot. There's a bit of a gap then back to the yellow and black elite car of Akil Alibai, who still has Ian Aguilera for company as well, and to take his attention. Over the chicane they go. I think the brave marshals have actually worked their way out to readjust that rector-cell barrier. It looks close to the apex for me. Here's the race lead.
Just about to say 4/10 quicker on that lap, taking the fastest lap again. Liam McNeely in that white 48 in P2 is catching, and Liam McNeely's teammate Maurice Hamilton took his first win yesterday, and I went over and spoke to him. Richard John Neal, please get better, mate, who's not with us today. He'll be made up because Maurice is a great kid, and it's great to see him winning that race. But I'll tell you what, the Fox Motorsport guys in P2 they're going to be loving this with McNeely.
Yeah, Richard recovering nicely from what I hear as the latest, so he'll be back, I'm sure, for the next rounds at Snetterton. As now, through Duffer's Dip goes Josh Rowley. He's had it all his own way for the first half of this race. We're almost at the 10-minute marker, and Liam McNeely has just been getting closer and closer, minding his own business, probably keeping an eye on Josh Rowlage's lines, and that is the quicker car of the two.
This is, Johnny, this is game on, mate. That's another 10th and a half he's took out of him in the first sector. Look how hard he's trying. McNeely in that 48, oversteering. The rear tyres giving up grip, but he still carries the forward momentum. Look where he is now. He's going to have to start defending in a second, Rowlage. Yeah,
so Liam McNeely, more pointy car at this stage. Rowlage into the hairpin now, very aware of the white car that is looming large in the door mirrors, the Fox Motorsport prepared Liam McNeely car, and Will Mack, who flies the flag as the top rookie in that R Racing prepared car, or rather, sorry, Elite Racing prepared car, running in 3rd position. So Fergus Chalmers was under pressure not too long ago. Off in the background though, and that was on the exit of McIntyre's, Paul.
Yeah, that was what we call a mine in yours. That was a bit of oversteer on turning, and then it just snapped the other way, which was a real shame.
Ella Lloyd, I think, off the road and into the gravel trap. Leaders again closer than they have been all race as they head for Clark's, the right-hander.
It's all about this now, Johnny. Who's got the best apex speed? And I'd say Rowlage is starting to pull it out the bag now. This is the closest I've seen it, and I think Liam in P2 is going to start. He's going to have to defend because it's coming now. It's coming.
And Liam has been sitting on the tail of Josh Rowlage for a little while now, has worked out where Josh's car is strong, but more importantly, where he's struggling, and can therefore Liam's car pounce when the iron is hot. Heading out of the final corner they go again, and the gap, if they start to squabble, these leading duo, that might draw Will McIntyre back in. Just hearing though about a black and white warning flag, maybe for track limits for Akil Alibai and the 95 car of Joe Warhurst.
Here we go, this is it, this is game on now. He knows, he's got all the information, like you said, about where he's fast. It's all about the chicane. He can get the move done after the chicane through Clark Curve. Who gets it done properly and who gets it done best? Big pressure on both of these youngsters, driving within the circuit limits, but amazing. Rowlage is, for me, has got the ace up his sleeve there, but again, he's not so fast into this second to last corner, and it's all about this last corner. He's got to make him defend, otherwise he's got to just shock him with a lunge. He's close enough.
He is. Now, will Liam McNeely flick out at the last minute? No, he thinks better off that. Still just biding his time. Yesterday, or rather this morning's race win for Rowlage was won by only 0.29 of a second. So Rowlage can deal with company. He'll soak all this pressure up all race long if necessary. He's a wise head on young shoulders, Josh Rowlage. It was Joe Warhurst who finished second earlier on today. Moment or two ago, rear bumper going for a Burton. That's no stranger in a Ginetta Junior race.
Yeah, Hotchkiss, that's par for the course. That was the rear bumper, just catches
standard.
Yeah, it just catches the undulated nature or real estate of Knockhill and has ripped it off. But I am so impressed with these two. I mean, Liam McNeely was the star last year, but for me, he's not been brilliant. There's a few things that have been out of his control, but for me, he's got to stamp his authority on this race. And look how much gravel's on the exit of Clark, but he's got to get just that little bit closer and shock him into an overtake.
Well, is he going to be close enough into the hairpin this time around? It's about a car length, car and a half, and again he stays in the wheel tracks of Josh Rolich, obviously building up this chance to make it a big one. That's right, it's a good real opportunity of getting through, rather than a half moment that might result in contact and therefore a DNF. So it needs to be a full-blooded manoeuvre. He's got 7.5 minutes to try and find it, but Liam McNeely still, and the timing will testify to this, has got the quicker car of the two of them. And they're still motoring around here at good pace. 101.3 from both. Two wheels again at double stick.
Something has to give, Johnny. I cannot believe, because the mistakes come here. Bouncing off that curb wrong with big pressure on yourself is usually what happens. But I have not seen one mistake from these two. They have been exceptional, and this is why it's such a great ground for people in these formulas to then go on to single seaters or go on to British GT or go on to British Touring cars.
Yeah, and consistency when you go to the longer distance races is so key, and these guys are so consistent. Yes, they're using the curves, yes, they're using that grass creek, the green surface out of the chicane, but it is never in the gravel, it is pinpoint.
This is proper stuff. I'm really impressed with it. This is like heavyweights slugging it out, isn't it? But look, here's the train, mate.
5 cars, one going for the dive up the inside, and that is to try and make a bit of ground. Alicia Parmovsky. And now actually the track limits that we were reporting earlier on are going to result in 5 seconds to be added to Akil Alibai's time in race, and also being given an extra 5 seconds is Fergus Chalmers, so that's dropping them down the order, even though their road position won't change.
I'm just holding my breath through that chicane. There is no quarter given. That was a bounce off the curb. That was a bit awkward for the leader. That was a bit awkward, and this is now where I'm seeing maybe something's going to get put on here.
It's going to be on something as minor as that, though, that will change this result, as again Liam McNeely goes to the brake pedal as late as he dares. He does not obviously give a shove into Josh Rolich's car to incur the wrath of the stewards, but it has been so neat and tidy, not only from these two, but actually from Will McIntyre and Zach Meakin further back as well. This is potentially where there's going to be a bit more carnage, because the first of 4 cars is Mackenzie Douglas heading into the hairpin again. He's in the blue and black car number 24, and he doesn't really know where to look next, with 3 cars looking for his position from behind.
I just not look in your mirrors, to be honest. Just get on with it. But look at this, getting on with it. There's not enough superlatives for this. I mean, I want to see action. I want to see a little bit of a mistake and a move, but I can't tell you how amazing this is under so much pressure. I know he's won races before, but Rolich just driving amazing, and this would be the first win if McNeely can get past him in 2022, and they'll be wanting this so bad.
It's the throttle application, it's the finesse on the braking, it's the steering required as well. You haven't got a moment's peace around this short circuit in Scotland. We're in 5, about 50 minutes away from Edinburgh, and the track is a challenge if you're the only car on the circuit, but these guys are having to be so wary of where their rivals are as well, just like Fergus Chalmers, who's got Alicia Parmovsky for company, and the rest of them. Who else is in this queue then? Mackenzie, Hodgkins is in there, and Maurice Henry. Kanato Lee's lost a bit of ground since we last checked on him, slipping down to 13th position.
Yeah, that's Hodgkins in that 94. Got a great run then, but he's had to drop back. He's got a bit of floor or something in that white and green car. It's actually flapping around. But now you can just see they're starting to push. This is, you're dictated to from what McNeely's doing in P2. So whatever McNeely does pushing-wise, maybe he's waiting till the very end, you never know. But I cannot tell you how hard it is. Like you said, being on track on your own is one thing, but doing it with a million cars, and I think the most special thing about what you're seeing now is the move is on, is it? Oh, he's trying it now. Now he's made him defend, and he's going to try and get back on the inside of him. It's game on now. He was waiting for this. You're dead right. Look, the first defence from Rolich.
If you can make a move late in the race, then the other guy's not got a chance to get the place back again. This could be terrific race management from Liam McNeely. He knows it's a 20-minute race after all. Meanwhile, a moment or two ago, Mackenzie Douglas, he'd been under pressure for a long time, and that is Fergus Chalmers pouncing bouncing. Also in the queue, the 21 car of Alicia Parmovsky, and off the road. Oh, bouncing through the chicane, but did keep it on the island.
Chalmers, I tell you what, hats off to you, mate. You could have caused a big shunt then and you didn't, mate. Good effort. Look at the body language of these cars now. This is game on. It's got to be now. There's mistakes just creeping in. There's cars running right up to, look at the dust in the gravel trap. Unbelievable. Another track limits, and that's for Aguilera. That's a 5-second penalty now.
So Akel Alabai and Ian Aguilera, who run together in the race, have dropped a couple of positions because of that. Josh Rowledge puts the car in the middle of the road into the hairpin because he knows Liam McNeely is so strong on this part of the lap. But again, Rowledge gets a good exit.
Great exit. This is, look at this. I've not seen him defend as heavily as this. Rowledge in the 10. Oh, it's a big defence for that lead. A big defence.
Now getting a bit of a gap this time, Mackenzie Douglas, although a change potentially here of Maurice Henry. Up the inside goes the number 21 car. So Alicia Parmovsky, in fact, picking off a good overtake. Here we go. Oh no, contact and off onto the grass. Liam McNeely, can he keep it on the straight and narrow? Yes, he did. Amazing, but that's all of a sudden lost all of that ground. 27 minutes, or rather 17 minutes of trying to get as close as he could to the race leader, and it is gone.
Yeah, that's it. It's game over, and that to me looked like no problem for them two, but that is a big problem for those two. Parmovsky off, and will they get back on? Chalmers off as well.
Yeah.
Grass in the front of McNeely's car, but there was nothing in that. That was just a shame.
Only a couple of minutes left, so I don't. Oh, and a bit of a look-up for Liam McNeely as well into the hairpin. That might be to show you how little grip is available on these tyres now. So a bit wide for Josh Rowledge. He was away from the apex through the second bit of Duffer, so Liam's thinking, this is my chance.
Tries to undercut him. Oh, and it was just a little bit of contact. That there wasn't a big move for me from Rowledge, but let's see what other people think about it. But tell you what, he's got a minute and he's catching him again.
Yeah, just shows you, doesn't it, how quick. Oh, Zach Meakin up to third position, yeah, and he was at the line as well. So what's happened to Joe? Well, Joe Warhurst is tucked in there as well. McIntyre to the outside, who did have third position in the red car. McIntyre hangs it out wide and gets the place back again. Brilliant.
Wow. Willie Mack in the red car, but look now, Warhurst in the blue car, down the inside of Meakin. Oh, and there's going to be another person to the party. That's Alibi.
This is Akel Alibi, who's got a 5-second penalty, remember, so he's trying to overtake as many cars as he can to improve his position. He'll stay in 6th, even though he's gained another spot on Zach Meakin. It's the thing, you get an in-race penalty, but you can still affect the result. 30 seconds left on the clock of the 20 minutes that we had at the start. They will get one more lap at Knockhill.
There's enough here. There's enough of a lap here for the lead to maybe change, but this has all been pretty line astern except for that.
Well, Will McIntyre, his door mirror was bent out of shape. He's just opened the window to adjust that. So McIntyre to the outside, a couple of wheels almost in the gravel, but it was dimension of the car. Perfect driving for Will McIntyre to get back ahead of Zach Meakin. They didn't touch.
Well done to Zach Meakin as well, because he could have kept his nose in there, didn't, and caused an accident. But Rowledge, this is job done, I think, isn't it? There's no way. And that car behind will start overheating with that grass in the front.
It has been a relentless race, even though there's been no overtaking. Liam McNeely has pressurised Josh Rowledge almost to breaking point, and he soaked it up throughout. There was some contact side to side between the Fox Motorsport car in second and the Rowledge machine. You'll have to wait and see whether the clerk has anything to say about that, but at the moment it's a sublime win. It'll be 2 for the day for Josh Rowledge across the line in the R Racing prepared car, and it's still not done yet in the elite part of the paddock. These are teammates, remember, and Will McIntyre and Joe Warhurst going hammer and tongs at it into the final corner and out of it. Will Mack, I think, will hang on to third position, yes, just ahead of the man that will get fastest lap in the race, Joe Warhurst.
Wow, well, there you go then. That was a proper effort. A lot of penalties here. That's the 94 car. Hodgkiss has got a pen, hasn't he? Oh, down the inside. This is not even finished yet. Wow, this is proper. McHardy and Lloyd going at it, still at it.
Yeah, and we've had plenty of that as well in the mid-pack. Obviously, we've been focusing on the lead battle for obvious reasons, but typically in Ginetta Juniors, you never quite know where to look next, and it's McHardy who finishes just ahead of Lloyd, Theobald, and sadly for Parmovsky, she lost quite a bit of ground in the middle phase of that race, comes across the line in 18th position. But Josh Rowledge now taking the applause of the many fans here at Knockhill. That was almost a kind of drive of his career to this point because of the pressure he had to soak up. And let's confirm the by side at the finish there. Leona Theobald and Alicia Parmovsky finishing in 18th place ahead of Fergus Chalmers and Shravan Shanmugam. So yes, a lot of talking points there, and for me, it's a standout performance, as I was saying, for Josh Rowledge.
Yeah, it was absolutely